Is Amarg actually good for solos in the current officials meta? I spent a whole day playing solo Amarg to find out. Here's what I discovered. In short, the answer is yes. Amarg could be a good solos dino, if you're careful. Amarg is the second slowest dino in the game, with Anno being the first, so don't expect to run down and kill anything. Most of the time, you'll have to let the fight come to you, which happens more often than you might think, because people tend to underestimate Amargs. Amarg is actually quite good at dealing with dinos below its weight class. Raptor packs are everywhere in the current meta due to the latch mechanic changes, and fortunately, either of the spiny Amarg subspecies are a hard counter to Raptors. With Amarg's massive reflection damage and bleed, it's actually impossible for a latch Raptor to kill an Amarg. They'll actually die from reflection damage first, which gives Amarg a huge advantage over other dinos when fighting big Raptor groups. I've even had difficulty soloing an Amarg with the Claw Barrage powerhouse, Suko, simply because I nearly died from reflection damage in the process. Furthermore, Amarg is safe from the Apex Shredder, Achillo, because Amarg sits at 4,650 combat weight, which is actually under the Achillo's 5,000 combat weight pounce threshold. If you didn't know, Achillo can't pounce anything under 5,000 combat weight. Boasting a mobile Stomp, Amarg has little trouble dealing with most mid-tiers as well. Stomp is a hard-hitting ability which can inflict massive damage on small and mid-tier creatures. Its knockback tail can help keep opponents away from your backside if they try to tail ride you. Amarg can stack up bleed fast, making it an especially tricky opponent for smaller dinos to tackle. Amarg does have two big weaknesses as a solo dino though. Number one is Bone Break, and number two are Apexes. It kind of goes without saying, but if you get Bone Broke as a solo on most dinos, you will probably not survive, and Amarg is no exception. Being Bone Broke prevents you from stomping, so Amarg instantly loses access to its hardest hitting ability. Amarg's best counter to Bone Break dinos is to keep your long tail aimed at the attacker, play distance, and take space, and then knock them back as they run in with Bone Break charged. You won't always survive, but you can greatly increase your chances of survival when using knockback effectively. A similar strategy works against Apex dinos. Amargs, especially solo ones, have a lot of trouble dealing with dinos like Rex and Io. Against Apex dinos like these, it's all about distancing. Amarg's sprint speed is 615, which is slower than Rex and Io at 800 and Spino at 700. Amarg obviously can't outrun a Rex, Io, or Spino when they're close, but Amarg has a better stamina pool so it can sprint for longer, covering more distance on one stamina bar. You can play this to your advantage, as Apex dinos will have to stop and rest far more frequently than you will while on the move. If you see a Mega Apex pack, keep your distance and they won't be able to catch you. If you do happen to get snuck up on, or are just tempting fate, use the same strategy we talked about versus Bone Break. Keep your tail pointed at your attacker while taking space, and time out your tail attacks so you knock back your attacker when they come in for a hit. Amarg can also benefit from playing steeply sloped terrain to its advantage. If you're on a narrow path or rock face, like an IC, there is a high chance attackers won't follow you up, because the risk of you sending them flying to their death with your knockback tail attack is pretty high. This is usually the best way to defend yourself if you get caught by a mega pack and are somewhere near steep but walkable terrain. Here are a few examples of putting the strategies we just covered into use. In this example, two Rexes spotted me trying to exit IC. I could have just run, but I wanted to see if I could set up a knockback attack that would fling them to their deaths. But unfortunately, the Rex sniffed out my plan and dodged the knockback. I then took a quick Bone Break from the Rex, but managed to survive by keeping my tail pointed at him and specifically timing out my knockbacks whenever his face got a little too close. After this, it was just a matter of timing out my knockbacks, taking some space, and waiting till they ran out of stamina. When they stopped to rest, I used this to my advantage and took as much distance as I could. They followed me loosely for a little while, but because of my superior stamina pool, I had made my escape. Overall, I would say playing solo Amarg on officials is actually pretty fun. Some packs, of course, will kill you on sight, while others will take you in simply because you're an Amarg. I also noticed that other Amarg players love Amargs, which makes sense, but they're always happy to take you in and form up an Amarg pack. So even if you start out as a solo, you may not end up that way by the end of your session. At the end of this video, I'm going to put a clip of a fight between my random Amarg friends and 3 Rexes, and you'll have to wait and see who comes out on top. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my thoughts on solo Amarg gameplay. Feel free to drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on Amarg as well. As always, I've been your host Conware, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.